Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the Master Collector Program. Yesterday, Ecomi had a AMA. I listened to it, and I listened to the Master Collector Program part a couple times. Very interesting. So let me get into it. It's mechanically, it's great. It's unbelievable. You can tell that they've thought it through. I don't think if you spend any time listening to the executive team from the CEO or any of the other members from Ecomi, you get the feeling like these guys are idiots or anything like that. No, they've thought it through. They have a plan. They know what they're doing. So you have to give kudos to them. And really, if you follow this channel, you know that I'm a true believer. I own a bunch of the OMI tokens. I own a bunch of Todds, Supermans. I have secret rares, sets, etc. But I don't think that doesn't mean that we can't or we shouldn't, as part of the NFT community, VeVe community, we should think critically, think long term, and give our feedback. Right? That's part of the game here. So here are my thoughts on it. The Master Collector Program, if you don't know, I'll just briefly go through it, is basically this system that they're going to be implemented. It hasn't gone live yet, so potentially in the next couple months, maybe longer, not sure. But it will reward you for keeping your collectibles, having full sets, and you accumulate these points, and then you can spend them on various things like to help you get drops or other things. So it's brilliant, and it allows people to stay engaged, and it allows NFTs that are part of a set that may be not as valuable. People will still want to collect those because they want to complete the set. So it's great. My questions around it and really some of the feedback in the AMA are kind of twofold. So I'll cover one, which is I got a little bit nervous about the amount of FOMO that was some of the questions. And then on the other one, let's talk about the long-term collectability and emotion that people have for collectibles and how that hopefully will drive the market to be even more successful. I didn't quite say that right, but I'll try it again later. Okay, let's talk about the FOMO piece. So this is a new space. There are a lot of collectors that are coming to it that haven't maybe collected stuff as much before. And it's difficult because you're talking about trying to tell people how to spend their money and other weird things. But this is what I've learned, and I think that I have learned from the comic community, and I think about sometimes, and that is that when you are chasing things, which that's what collecting is, your emotions get involved, and you do feel like, oh, I'm going to miss out, and I need to buy this right now. And that is compounded by the fact that some of the NFTs literally 10x, 100x, and so the chance of making some money there is real. But long term, I don't necessarily think that that's viable. And we're already seeing that. And there's two reasons why. Number one, it's not viable is because even though the drops, let's just use comics, come out for $7, as more and more people get on the platform, you're just not going to be able to get them. It's literally, it already is a lottery ticket, and it's going to become more like that. Because, they had, I can't remember, he mentioned something like a number. He said like maybe 48,000 people or something like that tried for the Edo, which there's only 2,000 available. Those are bad odds, and if you fast forward, if they're as successful as they think they're going to be, as we want them to be, that number just explodes. And so it's the lottery. It's, 1 in 1 million or whatever it is to get that. And if you get that, great. And if you can take that $7 comic and sell it for $100 or $200, that's great. But then just go, well, here in the United States, you just go to the gas station and buy lottery tickets for $5. It's the same thing. In fact, although your odds might not be the same, your chance of winning more money is because here you'd only win, $100 if you get maybe an uncommon or something or a rare comic. There, at least you'd win millions of dollars, right? Just go buy lottery tickets. The key to I think so I worry about that. I worry about that I was talking to another person on IG, and I worry that the Master Collector Program feeds into that FOMO. I got to get it. I got to complete my set to do it. That behavior seems a little unhealthy to me. So that's that. I'll put that over here. Some people may disagree with me on that. But I think it's something to watch. And I think it's something as a community we need to make sure we continue to talk about. I'll also say this. People have asked me, how much should I be investing? And I think the word investing is odd here because this is not really investing in my mind. This is a hobby. And I have other videos. You can go look at. I have a lot of videos I've talked about this. This is a hobby. I do have a series on investing, but even then, these are lottery tickets. Okay. The other thing when I say, I'll just give this because I think I always say it, is when people ask me how much they should invest, I always give them the toilet story. And it goes like this. I say to them, this is highly speculative. So how much money you should invest? I'll tell you how much money you should invest. If you're going to think about investing $1,000, first think about this. Go to your bank, withdraw all the money, come over to my house. We'll have dinner together. And then afterwards, you and I will take turns flushing that down the toilet. If you have no qualms about that, and that sounds fun to you, then that's the amount of money you should invest. Maybe that number is $5. Maybe that number is $50,000. I don't know what that is. That's obviously for you. But it's so extreme and so ridiculous, right? But when you're talking about speculative markets like NFTs and other things, even some, real estate, etc., you can lose your money here. And if you are overextended, it's not going to feel good. I'm talking from personal experience. It's not going to feel good. It's going to hurt so bad that when you close your eyes, you don't want to close your eyes because you don't want to think about that anymore. And you can tell here that there's a guy talking from experience here. So check yourself, be careful, know your boundaries, blah, 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 blah. You guys are all smart. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, now let's get into the second half of this discussion in terms of the long-term viability of NFTs and VeVe. Now, once again, I actually think this market is going to exist, and is going to exist forever. Now, how is VeVe going to be the one that takes it to the promised land? I don't know. Even what does that even mean? I don't know, okay? But this is a thing now, and, it can't be taken away. Okay. But the one that I think will be the most successful, and I believe VeVe is on track to do this, is the one that can make the NFTs more than simply lottery tickets. And what I mean by that, obviously I'm a comic collector, so I got to go to the comics. So, let me show you some comics. This is Amazing Spider-Man 300. Many people are familiar with. It's the first appearance of Venom, which has a movie now, an iconic cover. This particular one is signed by Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane, the infamous Todd that everybody talks about now in the NFT world, which, he's the first NFT, the Batman one. It's so funny because I refer to him as McFarlane, but I guess now his name is Todd. So great comic to have. I know there's some people that don't follow comics. This is an expensive comic, signed and whatnot. I don't know how much this is worth, maybe $4,000 or $5,000 US. Okay, I love Venom. I've been a fan. But this is where Marvel has taken it to the next level. So in the recent Venom run, this character is introduced. This is not his first appearance. This is Dylan Brock, Eddie Brock's son. Eddie Brock is Venom. He's introduced in this run. This is a relatively recent run. It just happened in the last couple of years. And this is where collectibles take it to the next level, in my mind, my perspective. I'm a father. I have 3 kids. And they're great kids. I'm a lucky father. And there's 35 issues in this run. I highly recommend it. And a lot of it is about Eddie's relationship with his son and how he wants to protect him, how he wants to be a good father, all these types of things that someone like myself would relate to. These are highly collectible books. Venom is popular. This is not the first appearance of that's Venom 9. This is Venom 19, I think, second print. But that's where you get, the double whammy or whatever you want to call it, is you get highly collectible books with unbelievable art. And you have that emotional reaction when you read the stories. They're meaningful to you. And you really want to collect it now. And that's where I think VeVe is on the right track, but not quite there. And the more it goes into the gamification, it's just the numbers. How do I make the money? How do I get the drops? My personal opinion is that's important. We got to figure that out. But it gets more like a lottery ticket, less emotional. The more it's, wow, I had an incredible experience. I did something memorable. So let me talk specifically about that. So this is where VeVe is beyond, in my mind, some of the other NFTs. And I'm not an expert in NFTs. You know that. If you've been watching any of these videos, I didn't even know what NFT stood for, 4 weeks ago. So once again, I'm a guy in a basement. Take everything here with a grain of salt. Okay, so if some of the NFTs, I don't mean to make fun of them or talk bad on them, but they are what they are. In my mind, they are JPEG, GIF images of a monkey or whatever. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, once again. But does it have emotional attachment where I'm thinking about, so that's where VeVe is ahead of the game, because number one, they're using characters that already have these stories, so people have emotional attachment to them. So that's number one. But can they create new activities or experiences that I haven't experienced before? And the answer is yes. Because the first time I used the AR and I showed people, or you saw me on my Instagram, I took some of Spider-Man in my office, I was wowed. That was an experience I remember. That was kind of fun, setting up my vault and putting the guys in there. Maybe I'm a big collector geek. Well, look around. I am a big collector geek. So they're on the right track. And when they talk about the VeVe-verse, I know there's other NFT programs that are doing that. And you could experience things with people, do things. That really, in my mind, is where you'll have memorable things. The NFTs will be even more valuable than the spec. So in the comic book world, and I've heard this many times, different people say it different ways. A way common people say it is, they say buy what you like, and you can never go wrong. I think Simple Man Comics is a YouTube channel. I think he has said that many times. Another way that's said is another channel, friend of mine, Slim Comics and Collectibles. He always says, pick what you like. People say it in different ways, okay? But it's very true. If you are collecting things that are meaningful to you, you can never go wrong. If you're collecting things just because you think they're going to go up in value, I mean, that's good. We like money. Everybody likes money. But there could be some issues there. Let me add one last thing. Sorry, this has gone on a little bit longer than I wanted, but I think it's an important topic. And that's, I was talking to another Instagram, a couple, but one particular Instagram guy I've met really recently, honestly. And he was talking about how the market in the NFT, VeVe world, really hasn't had a really big downturn. Now, it has pulled back a little bit, but once we get a lot of people in the market that are new and they decide, oh, you know what, I'm going to throw down for a Todd. I don't know what they're at right now, but they're around 1,800 gems, $1,800. And they do, and they're excited. And then there is a big market pullback, which is going to happen, and it drops, 1,000 gems, and they can't get their money out. That is a different feeling. Most of the people, I feel like, have been in there for a long time. So they bought Todd for $50. They bought Todd for $200. They went to 1,800. They're excited. When it drops to $1,200, they're not happy, but they don't jump out the window because they didn't buy it for $1,800. So that is something to consider, especially if you're buying these more expensive. And maybe it's not $1,800, maybe it's $500. It's whatever your budget is, like I said before. And that is probably why having the ability to get your money out, which I know they're working on as quickly as possible, is important. But in the end, this is, I believe, it's more of a hobby. This is a collecting. This is supposed to be fun. This is, and it's collecting plus it's the community, right? Talking to people, getting excited about things, covers, different collectibles. So that's it, what I got for you guys today. And more videos to come. Take care. Thank you.